And welcome back to the book review, the Millionaire Fastlane from Olivier Roland. And the previous episode, I just reviewed the three parts from it. Uh, the part talk about the Millionaire Fastlane book by M.J. DeMarco. The three parts as the previous part one is wealth in a wheelchair. Getting rich slowly means being wealth and bedridden. And part two, wealth in more wealth is more a trip than a road. And part three, poverty, the roadside route. And today I am gonna continue to the part four until eight. Uh, Part four, the mediocrity, the slow lane, the lies that you have been sold, the slow lane. This part is real electric shock as MJ DeMarco goes against all the common advice you read about personal finance for someone in the slow lane. Uh, Wealth is defined as wealth equal market value plus compound interest. Market value plus compound interest. Here are the main obstacles to wealth found in the slow lane. In the slow lane, you can check yourself while about this uh, uh, maybe going to school, getting good grades. Uh, Fragility is good. Give up Starbucks. Pay yourself first. Overtime is welcome. Pay off your primary resident quickly. Use discount vouchers and cashback. Buy into safe values and keep them for life. Put 10% in your income aside. Put 10% of your income aside. Your home is an asset. This is a advice to the fast lane, the slow lane. This way of thinking is, in my opinion, MJ DeMarco, widespread in front, and these points, as well as many others made, are an integral part of what is sold to us as progressive enrichment. The problem is this that this plan takes decades to complete, and it riskier than entrepreneurship. The slow lane driver accepts the sacrifice of these finest years of youth in the hope of having a better life later. But a plan that takes this long and relies on so many uncontrollable factors is risky. Economic conditions or layoffs can quickly jeopardize, jeopardize you. In the slow lane, you swap 2 days of freedom on Saturday and Sunday for 5 days of sacrifice Monday to Friday. The criminal the trade off your job. The four mistakes of wage earning. Number one, even the highest salary don't deliver wealth quickly. In the summary table, DeMarco demonstrates with simple calculations that even a specialist doctor would take 105 years to save 100 millions by putting aside 10% of his income. Time is the most precious resource of all, as it is only one that is limited, which make any type of work that is time correlated inefficient when it comes to being rich. And number two, lack of experience. Experience come from what you do in life, not from what you do in your work to pay your bills. What experience is most likely to make you rich? Your daily tasks, routine work, or the experience gained from your own creations and growth that can make you financially independent. You need to think about it. Which one? And number three, no control. No control. Being an employee is like being a passenger in the back of the pickup truck. At the slightest jolt, decimal illness, you are ejected. And number four, paying yourself last. Even if paying yourself first regularly features in the doc- doctrines by personal finance gurus, it is impossible to do if you are salaries. The company will always prioritize itself. If everyone used your hard-earned cash first, and you have to save what's left after deductions, don't expect to get rich quickly. The slogan why you are not rich. In this section, MJ DeMarco demonizes the adage that says 10,000 euros invested now will be worth to uh, 2.5 million euro in 40 years with an interest return of 15%. Relying on solely on compound interest to get rich is an illusion. Compound interest is based on time, and you discovered earlier anything correlate to time will limit wealth. Besides, rates of return are unpredictable, especially over a long period. The famous financial gurus preach a strategy that they don't apply themselves. Not of them becomes millionaires using coupons or getting better degrees or investing in compound interest. What makes them rich are the method they sell. They are in the fast lane. And the part five, after part four, we are going to part five, the view map, the fast lane. Once we have understood the fertility of approach to money, it's time to discover the famous millionaire fast lane. At this point, many things have been called into question. The slow lane is not good in terms of getting rich. We have to find the fast lane. The fast lane is the enterprise system, contrarily to the slow lane which uses the salary as revenue source. The formula for wealth in the fast lane is as follows. Wealth equal net income plus asset value. Net income plus asset value, which identifies two elements to work with: net income and asset value. Net income is equal units sold uh, multiply earning per units. Units sold multiply earnings per unit. Here is an example. If you want to sell products on the internet, you can create wealth by increasing the number of units sold with good marketing, results, testimonial, and so on, and or with the product price increase. Compared to salary and compound interest, you can act upon these two elements with no time correlation. In his example, MJ DiMago showed us that an increase of the just 1% of sales, both in $480 a day, which is the $14,400 a month. How much time would an employed manager take to reach this amount? And by increasing the price by uh, $0.5, just 50 cents per sold product, he moves from earning 8,000 and $8,000 a day to uh, $10,800, which is a total of the 84,000 extra per month. Wow. You start to see the importance of these two levers when you create and offer things to people. Because here is a fast lane, work out and needs of consumptions and meet them. You do you need to be passionate? No, you don't need to be passionate. Again, this is the conflicting statement. Passion doesn't necessarily feel the tills the money tree you are going to create does though. 5x entrepreneurial models most eligible for the fast lane. MJ selects 5 types of money tree. 5 types of money tree for you to create that are eligible for the fast lane for the fortune. Number one, rental system. Rental investment, patent, trade markets are idea of rental system. Number two, software or programming system. iPhone apps or computer programming, for example. Number three, information system, blogs that sell services. Does that ring any bell? Pretty obvious. Number four, affiliation and franchise. The creation of network marketing. Pay authors to sell your products with a commission when you can't do it yourself. Again, pay authors to sell your products with a commission when you can't do it yourself. Number five, human resource systems. As companies self-managed by good salary earners. MJ DiMarco used the example of the reader of his forum who has several fully managed storage warehouses across the country. The real law of wealth. To generate maximum wealth, you need to use two parameters. Number one, amplitude, number of units sold. Number two, magnitude, the sale price, which means that to gain millions, you need to service millions of people. Again, which means that to gain millions, you need to service millions of people. If you open a shop in your town, your amplitude will be limited. If you open two, it will double. If you sell your products on the internet, your potential amplitude is worldwide. Okay? And to influence the magnitude, the price of your wealth, you need to create value and constantly improve your products and services, but also offer services not being supplied by competitors. There are also marketing techniques to increase the unit price. And on the part 6, your vehicle, he mentioned you, the power of choice. Choice shapes your direction as well as how you clean your windshields as you drive along to motorway. Once you agree to take responsibility and avoid to victims law, you must face every consequence of each choice. Throughout his life, MJ created two tools to help him face important choices. In this chapter, he shares them with us. And the first is the look at the worst possible scenario. The worst possible scenario is break down into three questions which you need to be able to answer when you face a difficult choice and you don't have much time to think. Number one, what is the worst possible consequence of the choice? What is the worst consequence? What is the worst possible consequence of the choice? Number two, what is the probability of this consequence? What is the probability of consequence? And number three, is it an acceptable risk? The answer of these questions shouldn't more than a few seconds. When the choice takes longer to decide, however, DeMarco created a decision analysis metric. This is his second tool. Full of common sense, it has the advantage of providing the best solution for you to make a big decision. Using an example he lived through, the author demonstrated this famous metric. When he was going through a deep depression, he hesitated between the hard two choice, two hard choice with serious consequences to his future: stay in Chicago or move far to the south to Phoenix, Arizona. Factor: Chicago and Phoenix. You then fill the factor column with the important element to consider when you make your decision. Here is his example. The factors may be the climate, the cost of living, the schools, the economic situation. The factor may be local taxes, the security, activities, hobby, and proximity to family. Compare between Chicago and Phoenix. You've established the important element to bear in mind for your decision you are going to make. Now you have to settle on their importance by allocating of each of them a co coefficient from 1 to 10. As you can see on his blog, not all the factors had the same importance for MJ, and it would be the same for you. You have to decide on their perspective, which in the end, this metric looks a bit one of our old school reports. Once you've done this, you need to be honestly and award points to each of the two or more options. Here is what it looks like for MJ. Mhm. In this table above, in this table of the result, after he fill in the point, uh, the figures in bracket, that means after they multiply the value from the weight of each factors by the any each choice. Total points multiplied by the coefficient of each factor at the bottom of the table are the total, indicating the best choice according to your criteria right in front of you in black and white. Despite certain factors counting a lot toward Chicago for MJ, proximately to family, activities and hobby and so on, the best choice ends up as a move to Phoenix. For only 2 points, the author took the step and urged us to do the same, to avoid no choice or to allow ourselves to be governed by fear. Wow. This metric should only be used as the last report when it comes to big decision about the big picture of your future. It would make no sense to use this for every little decision. Okay, for those, MJ DeMarco suggests that you use the worst case scenario analysis. That's the worst case is the provide you the three question. What is the worst possible consequence of this choice, and what is the probability of this consequence, and the last one, is it acceptable risk? Change the way you change the way the wind blow. This is advice that we encounter a lot these days in the blogs, blogs, blog spheres and personal development blogs. To succeed it, you sometimes have to cut yourself off from certain toxic relationships, even if they are part of your entourage. Out of fear, curious, or concern for your well-being, even your loved ones can slow your enthusiasm down. When it comes to the fortune fast lane, these people can be the friends or friends and family that don't understand you, the education system that preach the salary life and the slow lane, and your parents that think that wealth is for the other people, or maybe wealth guru that state that $100 invested today will be worth 10 millions in 50 years, or your environment. You must not hesitate to close your vehicle's door to these headwinds. Instead, look for wines that travel in your direction. Uh, Look for winds that travel in your directions. So that is to say successful people that operate in your sphere, or entrepreneur clubs, and so on. The people you met on the road will be like brothers in arms on the battlefields. They can save your life, help you stay alive, or lead to your peril. You have to show them, keeping this in mind. Your essential fuel, time. You should see time as the most precious of your richest riches. Money is infinite in the world, whereas time is not. To illustrate this principle, the author recalls a scene from the Titanic film. As the ship slips in ex, ex, inexorably into the freezing sea, the noble and rich run to the rescue boat. They try to buy their seats from ship's officer. They try to buy their seat from the ship's officer. He answered, "Your money cannot save you more than me. Your money cannot save you more than me." Whoa. This is with this come back to entrepreneurs in the fortune fast lane. See the importance of time. See the importance of time. And you should do the same instead of waiting in the queue for 1 hour for your free buckets of chicken wings. Change your oil regularly. Change your oil regularly. What is your engine's motor oil? Your education. And despite of 90% of people think education doesn't stop when you get your degree. On the contrary, it starts at the very moment. Learning useful information for your business or your money tree is essential. And nowadays, this is no excuse to not learn new things throughout life, as this knowledge is freely available in libraries, on the internet, and high quality specialized forums. Education is a strong level that will distinguish between a vehicle, that means you that takes you to your destination, will, or a vehicle that perises in the middle of the road. So MJ Dimaho give us a few tips to educate ourselves without spending a fortune and teach us to make the distinction between good and bad intellectual investment. Paying too much to change your oils is counterproductive. Learn to appreciate the difference between something impacting your goal as opposite to a waste of time and money. The red line, the accelerator, the heart, the heart of the problems for many entrepreneurs, especially web entrepreneurs. As you prepare to go beyond the red line, are you prepared to go beyond the red line? The one that separates the traditional town speed limit from the motorway one. If you drive at 50 kilometers per hour, you will take edge to get to your destination. Embedded in this metaphor is the difference between success and failure. Falling is falling the pedal means you take actions, more action, and even further action. You should think of the value of your idea as zero. Again, you should think of the value of your ideas as zero. The author even thinks good ideas are like brain farts. The only thing that counts is your ability to transform this idea into your workflow. Are you merely interested or are you invested in your entrepreneurial project? The motorway is only open to those that are invested. You don't drive at 50 kilometers per hour on the motorway. Some clue. Every time you say one day I will do that, like this, and you put your foot on the brake. You put your foot on the brakes every time, and every time you wait for an event to take place before you launch something, you put your foot on the brakes. The timing is never perfect, and Lady Luck doesn't shine her light on those that wait for the right moment, but rather on those that seize it. Lots of entrepreneurs leave their cars in the garage and never take the plunge. According the MJ, According to MJ, this is the difference between taking risk of the fun of it and taking intelligent and calculated risks, the gains from which far surpass the possible losses. And we are now on the part 7. The part 7 talks about the road to rich. Your vehicle is ready, and the road has been clear of obstacle. Your floor to accelerator, but is your business heading for wheel or the cliff edge? In this section, you will be judged on your intention and the robustness of your idea. Having the right state of mind is not enough. Having the right state of mind is not enough. You have to have a project that holds waters. What are the 5 commandments for an idea to be worthy of the millionaire? Fastlane. 5 commandments. Number 1, the need commandment. Number 2, the entry commandment. Number 3, the control commandment. Number 4, the ladder commandment. And number 5, the time commandment. The need commandment. The first commandment and the most important is need. Does your business or idea address a need? Does it make life easier or more difficult? The biggest problem with people who take the plunge is that they seek to make money first and foremost, which makes them selfish and violates the need commitment. To attract money, you need to focus your efforts and service and meeting. To attract money, you need to focus your efforts on service and meeting demand. Ignoring future results, once again, it is a question of focusing on the process and not the result. Process, not the result. Focus on the focus on the service and meeting demand. Another myth to burst is do what you like, do what you love, do whatever something. Think about it for a moment. Would anyone pay to see you do what you love? This will only happen if you try to do meet an expectation or fill the gaps for your customers. Also, if you transform your passion into work, you risk losing or the pleasure you get from them. Unless you are the best at your passion, not simply an amateur, and you turn it into the full-time activity, you are at odds with the need commitment. On top of that, unless your passions are extremely rare and strange, these tend to lead towards highly competitive activities with slim margin potential. You must make your journey your passion and not direct your path toward your passion. The nonce is crucial. And next one, the entry commitment. How easy is it for your business to launch? Is it difficult to do the same thing as you? A lot of barrier to entry, a lot of barrier to entry, especially entry. Lots of barriers to entry, especially the required education. How about that? Or could anyone set up the same business as you? How easy of it? If it's easy to imitate you, the competition increase and your path weakens. So you need to find the different routes or strengthen it by adding more expertise that isn't easy copy. Beware of everyone does it. It is a sign that this part is highly competitive. The margins are low and it is extremely difficult to stand out. The market implies that the niche market requiring some know-how is much more viable than lessons on how to win on the stock market with a DVD. Anyone can create and sell a DVD on how to learn the basics of stock market, as everyone wants to get rich. The market is highly competitive and barriers to entry are low. Anyone can develop resin without much expertise in the subject. Does your monetary idea have strong or weak barriers to entry? Are you going for the saturated or specific sector? And next one, control commitment. Are you a leader or a follower? Are you ahead of your company or is it author? Does your project rely on the action of author or do you have the control of your vehicle? Are you a hitchhiker or a driver? After working out whether you are a driver or passenger in your vehicle, you must be careful. Followers can earn a bit of money, leaders earns a lot. Followers can earn a bit of money, leaders earn a lot, and something huge amounts You need to create affiliation, not follow them. You have to create your brand and not sell others' brand. And you must have the freedom to choose your directions and not be influenced by others. Affiliations are part of someone else moderates, not yours. Look to create something unique rather than being the sales rep for others. Being the sales reps also violates the entire entry commitment because anyone can do it. The next one, ladder commit commitment. What is the scope of your business? Is that hyper-local, local, countrywide, regional, national, international? If you want to make millions, you have to impact the lives of millions of your fellow citizens. Aim high and be ambitious. The internet is the perfect tool to reach the biggest pool of lives that exist, but Opening at a shop opening a shop in your local resident area will only reach your neighbors. Make sure you reach as many people as possible, even if internet sounds like a no-brainer. The chain stores that flourish on every continent also reach millions of people, as do think big brands across all capital cities. If you invent a gadget that gets used by millions of people, the value of this gadget doesn't matter. Again, if you invent a gadget that gets used by millions of people, the value of this gadget doesn't matter. You will be on the path to millions. MJ DiMarco then lists a plethora of other options that I won't go into here. The idea is explicit enough in these few lines. And last one, the time commandment. As you previously read, time is the most precious of all riches. Is your idea linked to time? Can your business be automated without losing control? Are you able to rescue for tasks that are time consuming and non essential? Does your business allow you to earn money even when you are not there? Again, does your business allow you to earn money even when you are not there? A business that is locked into time stream is called a job. If you cannot put yourself out from the system, that is just a job, not a system. The three I of the Millionaire Fastlane: the internet, innovation, iterations. Using all three at the same time isn't obligatory, but can increase your speed a lot. The role of the internet has already widely debated. Above, the internet simply allows you to reach the biggest possible market and scale with your products. It is the best way to impact millions of lives around the world. The innovation is what will keep you ahead of your competition. You should reinvest on the money you make from your money tree. The innovation and research to keep improving your service. Your line of sight should be the better serve more and address more needs. Iteration is the scientific word that means to try again with the same intention by changing the mere detail. How do you find the right roads to the millionaire fastlane? It's simple. If you use the state of mind the author suggests, you will discover the exit roads. The opportunity are all around you. Listen more carefully about every time that you or someone else say it's rubbish. Every time you or someone else says it would be good if, and sometimes maybe same with I have had enough of, and if much the same with question like why does it work that way. Every time that you or someone else feel frustration about the situation, fix a final destination for your route. The motorway has an endpoint. The motorway has an endpoint, a destination for your trip, and you need to try and identify it. Take stock of your life you dream of. Work out the price of everything you need to live your dream life. What whether this property, vehicles, or passion income. Doing this exercise will help you determine how much you will earn during your trip. If you bring in this huge sum over 12 months, this provides a very motivating benchmark. In the end, what we call a dream life isn't as financially astronomical as we might have those, as we might have thought. A final destination is possible, and it's up to you to work out how to get there. Also, make a habit of saving excess money carefully, though this isn't about saving as a way of life, rather putting in place a psychological system of motivation whereby every hundred of uh, every hundred you put away gets you closer to your end goal. Of course, once you are into the habit to claiming each step, stop and go create your products and your brand. And the last one, part 8, your speed. In last section, MJ warns against the danger of selling without paying attention to customer feedback. Believe it or not, they are the one who will make or break your fortune. With this much power, all comments should be listened to. These are four types of negative feedback that you need to keep in mind if you want to reach maximum speed in your fast lane. Four types of negative feedback. Number one, complaints about changing. Number two, complaints about expectation. Number three, complaints about disappointments. And number four, fast fruster. The conclusion of the Millionaire Fastlane by Jean If from the Point of View blog, Portion of the blog. Well, I'm not going to details. The this book is simply one of the best I've ever read, and yet as a librarian, I have read many books on personal development. However, this is not a book on personal development, but rather a book on entrepreneurship in the broadest sense. Like MJ DeMarco, very direct style that shakes things up. I enjoy having my conviction up to now ensures in the slow lane taken to prices taken to pieces if the 4-hour works week disappointed you or its magic no longer works for you. I strongly advise you to read this book as soon as possible. And the strong point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strong point, the kind of magic emerged from this book, much like the book by Tim Ferriss, but in a different style. This means it's easy to get hooked. And the book is written by someone who tells their success story, not someone who provides the plan for the future. The book is reassuring in the sense that it does not sell dreams, but roadmap is that is used by those who become truly rich. Lots of content, a lot of advice, and a lot of acid humor dominate the book. It feels like you are discovering secrets. Lastly, this book is real slap in the face with the power of change your life, even though that's the goal behind Olivier's blog. The weak point, the weak point. Everything have the strength and weakness. The weak point of this book was written by American for American, which means that the examples aren't very relevant. The author's tone is sometimes very familiar, and even if you are good at English, you will have to open the dictionary occasionally to understand the essence of certain sentences. MJ DeMarco will bully you without ever apologizing. It was never a problem for me, and not for me as well. But I know it will bother some readers. Not translate in fonts, but it translate to Thai. Okay, this is all from the Millionaire Fastlane book, MJ DeMarco and eight parts of them. Uh, Thank you so much, and I will share the original blog on the comment of this video. Thank you.